Welcome to the Life of KG, your ultimate destination for all things motivation and business insights. Join me, Katie Godfrey, serial entrepreneur and the brains behind the KG brand. Along the way, we'll welcome inspiring guests and share invaluable business tips to fuel your growth journey. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. With that said, let's dive into the world of success together. Hey everyone, welcome back to A Life of KG. I am very excited about our guest today because I've got Michelle Raymond on the show. Now, Michelle, I've seen you have online for a little while now, and then I went to somewhere called the We Conference here in Dubai and I joined her roundtable, and wow, I was like, she's going to be my friend. She just doesn't know yet. And here she is in the studio. So welcome, Michelle.
I love it. I'm your friend already. We're friends.
I love that. I absolutely loved that session you done for us.
Thank you so much.
It was so good. And I was just like, it opens up such doors that some people wouldn't have thought about before.
Yeah.
Before we kind of go into that, I would love to know and for you to share who exactly you are and what do you do? Give us an intro.
Yeah. Every time I'm asked this question, I keep thinking, who am I?
What do I do?
What do I do? and just like every other woman, we are so multi-skilled and you never know what to start with. But in the business sense, let's start there. I'm a HR futurist and a leadership strategist. Basically, I do a lot of leadership strategy work with corporates, and I have 25 years in HR, and I do a lot of work with, what is the future of HR going to look like with people managers. And on top of that, I'm also an author, a public speaker, TEDx speaker. And in my personal life, I am a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, cousin. So I'm just like any other person, right? At the end of the day. But yeah, that's who I am. And I think one thing about me is I live for what I do. So if I wasn't getting paid, I would still do it. Yeah. That's what makes me different, I guess, from some other people who are doing it for the money. I do what I do because I love it. And another part of what I do, which I don't tend to speak about very often, is I sing as well. So I'm actually a professional singer.
Oh, wow. I want you to hit a tune right now.
So that's me.
Wow, I love that. And it's really funny actually, because the other day I was thinking about business and money and how so many people exchange their time for money, right?
Yeah.
And how they say, what is this job going to bring me right now? What am I making per hour? And I was thinking those that are really quite successful in business and would do this for free are the ones that tend to go further. Because I was thinking there's so many things I do day to day, that transaction of time has not made me money yet.
Yes.
But it will come. Yeah. But lots of people don't see that. Be like, well, if I'm working on that, it's not going to bring me any money right now. And I'm like, but it will. It will. Yeah. So that just made me think about that.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things. Sometimes you don't see it right now when it's a seed, but just like any seed, it takes time to grow. Keep watering it, nurturing it, and before you know it, you've got your own beanstalk in the back of your garden.
Yeah, for sure. So I absolutely love HR as well. Yes. Anyone in my industry knows I'm all about teams, management, leadership. Like, I absolutely love it. Yeah. But I really want you to touch on the corporate side of things because my listeners are going to be like, what is this? What are you talking about? You've changed the game of the show, Kate. But there's so much that people could do with this. So what do you mean by corporate, first of all, and gaining these corporate contracts that I see you talk about online?
Yeah, so that's one of the big passions of mine, and part of the business is helping entrepreneurs, consultants, service providers in your case, help them source and secure corporate engagements. So that's the headline, right? That's the positioning statement. But effectively, what I mean by corporates, it's any organization that has staff. Now, this could then be anything from a small SME to a large organization, global corporation. And the thing is, these organizations are looking for something new. They're looking for something unique, something that is going to help them either retain staff, sustain staff, recruit staff, a perk for staff. So anything that you have that you feel like, actually, I know companies that have employees that this will be a good fit for. It could be an extension of a service that they have. It could be an additional perk. And all of these organizations, they are now looking at ways, how can I be different from my competitors? How can I stand out? What extra services can I provide for my employees? So it's no longer just an employee-employer contract. You come in and go to work, you go home. Employers have a brand. And now they're looking for new ways to elevate the brand, and new ways to keep employees engaged and retained by bringing in new services. So this is why I think working with companies should be on everybody's radar. It should be seen as an extra stream of income, and it pays very, very well because you're dealing with companies who have the budget, but you just need to know how to position what you currently offer to companies who are ready to buy.
Can you give us any type of examples, putting you on the spot here, but any type of examples of what a service provider could offer in that way?
Yeah, so if we look at your market, so I had a friend and she ran a number of, I know now she does a franchise, like a beauty franchise. And we had spoken many years ago about why don't she think about offering this as an additional service? So there's a company, they're mainly based in the US, but they've expanded. They're called Perk Box. And what they do, they have a number of services that they offer organizations. And in it, it could be anything from money management, it could be anything, like advisory, but they also have different services that you just wouldn't really think about. But in it, they have services such as beauty, nails, spa treatments. And this is given as additional benefits to staff. So when an organization is recruiting, and, one of the questions could be, what's the compensation and benefits? They're called comp and bend, right, in the HR term. So you can say, we have pension, we have private healthcare, private medical insurance, but we also give you access to salons, beauty spa treatments, where we give you money off vouchers. So this is what you can do with companies. And rather than just seeing it as selling to them, you can partner with these organizations to offer these additional premium benefits to their staff. And companies up and down the world, they buy these services for their staff.
Yeah.
And if you look at, I don't know if they have it out here, but in the UK we have Taste Card. And with Taste Card, it's discounts or access to premium beauty services or restaurants.
Yeah.
It's the same type of thing that you can do. And they sell it to companies, and companies buy this in bulk so that they get a better rate and better benefits for their staff.
Wow. Yeah. And also, is there a thing of, someone could get a contract with them to go in and do like a pamper day for the organisation, right?
Right.
And even is home, oh my gosh, what are they called? Care homes.
Yeah.
Would you class it as like
care
a corporate?
Yeah, care homes. So think about it like this. A corporate, or see it as companies or organisations, any entity that has people. And it could be employees, it could be stakeholders like care users. They are seen as corporates in the financial sense. So even that, going in weekly, monthly, having a contract, a retainer in place to provide care, like it could, I don't know, like hand care.
Like hand care, or it could be that facial,
right.
Like something to get their employees to relax, to then be able to bounce back, get back into work mode.
And think about it. So I'll tell you, the service providers who've hit the nail on the head is service providers that provide like meditation services, well-being services, because well-being is big right now with companies.
Yeah.
And they're looking to bring in people who is going to do something different for their staff so they can relax, so they have that balance, and then they produce better for the organization. That's the positioning.
Yeah.
And the mediators, well-being experts, that's where I would put beauticians under that bracket, because you're providing a service that could, lower stress and increase productivity.
Exactly. And I guess that's kind of like the pitch that they have to go in with. Like at the moment, I'm writing so many articles on beauty is so much more, and it's in that well-being bracket.
It is.
And I think lots of people that are, I know, might go, oh, I'm just doing treatments from home, or we're just a salon and we're just. And it's like, no, you're so much more. You're helping people with their stress levels, with their well-being, with letting them have time out. And I think it's then about how they then pitch that to corporates and bringing that in.
So shall I give you a really good tip for you and your listeners? When they go in and they do like home treatments, or people might come to their salon. Now, what I've noticed is they'll say, oh, can you do a Google review for me? Which is easy. But by nature, you'll do the Google review and you'll just say, oh, I had my nails done, my hair done, by Katie. It's beautiful. That was great. But here's a tip that I think that the savvy salon owners could do is actually, especially with your regular staff, ask them to do a feedback form. And a very short one, but on the feedback form, just ask questions such as, how has having these treatments, how have they helped your well-being? Has it helped reduce stress in any way? And then just give like a few pointers, because sometimes they won't be able to think about it straight away. But you could just give them some suggestions. What typical other questions you can ask is, would you see this as a well-being step? Just those types of questions. Once they get back the data, that's all you need in terms of now going to companies.
Yeah.
Because the companies are not interested whether you've done this for other employees. They want to know, have you done this before? And have you got results? And now you've got the results because you've been giving out these feedback forms. Your clientele have been completing it. And now you can say, we've been doing these treatments and they've seen an increase in their emotional well-being.
Yeah.
They've seen an increase in the way how, better behavior. You're just not getting stressed. You're not getting wound up. Because I know when I go to the salon and get my hair done, I feel better. I feel like a better person. I feel like a new person.
Yeah.
And that's what beauticians are doing. And I think they don't see that part. They just see the external. But I think they should have feedback questions that now touch on the internal. And that's what we need for companies.
Oh my God, if you have a team, you need to listen up. I have just launched the 8-week accredited management course. Now, this is for you if you have a team or if you're thinking of a team. We need to start getting your business running like clockwork and getting your team to work the best that they can for you. This is also great for you to actually put your managers on this course so they are managing the show as they should. Now, this is a self-led online course with a different module every single week over 8 weeks. And it also comes with a workbook for you to fill out. You would make sure that you fill out that workbook, send it back, and then that's when you'll get your certification. Everything is covered in this course, from team targets to leading your team, to changing your mindset, to having difficult conversations, to actually getting them, bringing income into the business like they should. Now, if you feel that this is for you, then make sure you click the link below, because trust me, it is literally going to change the game for you and your business. I actually haven't heard anyone say that before. I've been doing this a long time. I haven't heard anyone say it before, and that's actually a really good shout just to get that feedback. How productive was you after your treatment? How relaxed did you feel? Out of 10, did you switch off? Did you use your phone? Did it de-stress you? There's so many different questions that then is feeding back to their wellness.
It's untapped for your market. It's so untapped. And it's the savvy salon owners who are going to take this and run with it.
Yeah, definitely. I first ever heard of like the corporate side to this a few years ago in a mastermind I was in, and they had a speaker come in and talk about it. And I was racking my brains at the time because I was like, how can I implement this as a coach? And I thought helping the reps and have all these great ideas. I actually think I spoke to you about the rain table, but my God, I still haven't done anything about it. But I did go and actually get a corporate contract speaking.
Yeah.
And let's talk about finances. That was the best paid gig I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Because they have the money for it, right? And they're willing to pay more. But I think that you don't realise the opportunities are there until you start knocking at these doors.
Yeah. And it's so easy to see your business as one-dimensional. And what I want to do is to get people to see it through different perspectives. There's so much more than what you do, the physical filing of nails, the physical lash tech. There's so much more on how you're making that person feel. And that's what you want to tap into. And like you said, it could even start with speaking at corporate events on, how to run a business, how to start a business, or if you want to do it internal with an organization, because actually they don't want their people leaving to be entrepreneurs, but it's about how, and this is something I work a lot on, is how to become an intrapreneur. And you can still talk about business, but you're talking about how can you be the best in your organization by utilizing your entrepreneurial talent.
Yeah.
So as an entrepreneur, we find opportunities, we jump on them, we work on them. You can do that internally. We manage risk better. That's what you can be talking about to an employee. How can you spot the risk and how can you deal with that? How can you manage money better? All of those things as a business owner, you can go into corporates and speak about.
How about things like, say, for example, clinics? They're dealing with, injectables and skin plans and all of those things, but actually want to help also people that don't necessarily want that, want to do stuff at home. Could they maybe go in and do a wellness talk on how to look after their skin at home and, how to look after the things, not necessarily in the clinic, but themselves to look after their well-being at home, to be able to switch off and all of those things.
So the headline or the positioning statement there would be, look after yourself at home to be better at work. And then when they come and join the workshop or the drop-in clinic, then that's when you can be digging down. These are certain things you can do at home that's going to just improve your well-being, and you'll be better for your organization. And the reason why I'm putting that bit in, because we want the company to pay for you. We don't want the employees to have to pay for you to come in.
Yeah.
We want to sell it to the company, so it has to resonate with them. And companies are only interested in making money, saving time, or pushing an initiative. So you have to make sure that it fits into one of those categories. So this would be, I would say, let's say, it could save time. It could make money, and I tell you why, or pushing an initiative, those two. Because if they have productive workers, employees, it's going to make the company money.
Yeah.
So if we reverse engineer it, that looks like how, companies need to now be aware of what the stresses employees are having at home and see how they can support with that so that they don't bring the stresses into the workplace.
Yeah.
So that's what you could go in and do clinics on how self-care at home so that you can be your best in the workplace.
Yeah, I love that. And just going back to what you said as well about, sometimes it's not just about the business and what you're doing there and then filing the nails. I think so many people now think they need a new business, multiple income streams. Multiple income streams means new companies, new staff, new everything, and then everyone spreads themselves thin. And I'm sick of seeing it where businesses just aren't successful for this reason, where actually you can have multiple income streams, but within the organisation you've got currently now.
Yeah. See that as the umbrella, and there's different streams under that umbrella rather than having to rebuild a new brand. It's just an extension to your offer.
Yeah. Yeah. What made you get into this space? Like, take me back.
Yeah.
What was the reason you're so passionate about this?
Do you know what? I was blessed to be offered a gig, which was out here in Dubai when I was living in the UK, and then I just built up my reputation as a leadership expert, leadership coach within the oil and gas industry, and I thought, gosh, I'm making like really good money doing this. There must be other entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, speakers, service providers who are missing a trick, because we're forever selling B to C. We're always selling to each other. And that's going to have a limit at some point. Because if you really want to make huge amount of money, that means you either have to expand your reach. And so my thing is, why don't you expand your reach to companies who can sign it off quickly, they have a bigger budget, and you actually do less work. I find when I'm working with consumers, other entrepreneurs, they want blood.
Yes.
They want you, they want to know, when am I going to see you, what time am I going to see you, how long is our session, everything, you know, and you've got to be, you know, you're always on edge because you think, oh my God, did I do a good job with them? Or they haven't said anything, or they're not doing the work, I can't see the transformation, but you know you're good.
Yeah.
You know you've put time and effort, and you know you're good, and you're just not seeing it in the other salon owners that who's working with you. You know, they haven't got the results that you promised. Whereas with companies now, the trick with companies is they are, because they're anti-risk, you just have to show them that you're a safe pair of hands. And you have to also prove that you can do the work. Those are the two main things. You go in and you do the work. And the great thing about it, if you get to put them on a retainer, which means they pay for you to come in every last Friday of the month, you might have a well-being drop-in clinic or a self-care drop-in clinic every last Friday of the month. They just pay you and pay you and pay you. If no one drops in your clinic on that Friday, you're still getting paid.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about it.
Wow.
That is the great thing about it. So you get paid time and time again. You can then even create some products, and you know everything is assets, and you make money from the assets. So you do it once, and you can sell a product to an organization. Once again, you're just making money, and it's less hard work. It's harder work to get a corporate.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's slightly more challenging, but when you got it, it's easier to maintain, much easier to maintain.
So how are they going to get this in the first place? What tips have you got for them to get into the door of corporates in the first place?
I would say there's two main ways. And then there's other smaller ways. The first way is definitely through referrals. That's going to be the easiest way. A warm lead, somebody who knows you and knows that, oh, actually, there's an organization I think it might be worth you speaking to. I can tell you who the person is. And to find the referral, I call it, there's the 3 I's: the influencers, the insiders, and the impacted. So you will definitely know somebody. I know you know somebody who's an employee, because not all your friends are entrepreneurs. So that employee, where do they sit in the hierarchy? Would you say that they're an insider, which means they just work for the organization? They could work in accounts. They could work in facilities management. They could work in marketing. They just work in the organization, but they know what's going on. They hear conversations. Or it could be the influencers, which means you have a friend who's a decision maker. I know you have a friend that who's a decision maker, and people don't look at it like this, but they could be head of a division, a head of a department. They could be, or they could sit close to the decision maker. That means they could be an executive assistant, or they could be in HR. And then the impacted. So these are the employees who actually need what you have. You might have a friend. And utilize and leverage your warm networks, people who are already in your connections. You don't need to look for someone new, because if we had to all do this exercise, and this is an exercise I've done during masterclasses many times, and you don't realize how much gold you're sitting on already. You don't need cold outreach. But that's one of the ways. Leverage your current network. Someone did this. And one of the exercises, I said, in the break, I want you to put a list together of at least 5 in each of those categories, and call at least 1 or 2 of them. Call them in the break, text them in the break, DM them in the break, and come back to me and see what they've said. One of them did it, and she said, the one person she spoke to, she said, I actually totally forgot what you did. I see you all the time. But because I see you as a friend, I'm not seeing you also as a service provider that can provide a service to my organization. A week or 2 weeks later, she texted me back and she said, oh my God, Michelle, I've just got a 10K contract, just doing what you were advising me to do. Wow. And look what happened.
Join my 2027 retreats. Oh my gosh, if you haven't been on one of my retreats, you need to come and join one. And in 2027, we have Dubai in April and we have Bali in October. Dubai, think business strategy and mindset, and in Bali, think healing and mindset. They're both going to be very different and equally incredible. So if you want more information, let me know. The link is below. But also, I know it feels ages away, but the spaces go ridiculously fast, and we're putting long payment plans in place. So make sure you grab your space today. So really, we need to leverage our network as much as possible.
Definitely. You're sitting on gold. There's people in your network that have access to the people that you need to connect with in organizations. So definitely using your warm networks. And I think another one is just showing that you are a safe pair of hands, which means using LinkedIn. And I know, I did a post about this recently. I know LinkedIn is a love and hate platform. And although I feel like everybody's on LinkedIn, not everybody's on LinkedIn. And I think people feel, how do I use it? It's stuffy. It's, it's not my kind of people on there. But really and truly, the people that you're serving, for your listeners and viewers, they are on Instagram, they're on TikTok. These are your users. But if you wanted to partner with an organization, if you wanted to be on their radar, then you need to be on LinkedIn. And all you need to be doing on LinkedIn is creating content about how your services help with well-being, how your services help with mental health, for sure. Because there's going to be somebody who's scrolling. Oh my God, yeah, like an office manager. God, I need a creative idea. What can we do to, reduce mental ill health in the workplace? I need something. They're scrolling. They see a hashtag, and there it is. There's Katie talking about how her services have proven to increase mental wellness. Who's she going to call?
Yeah.
It's just having some presence.
It is. And it is, like I've already said, it is the chat in this space right now, in, the online space, in the corporate, in the news. It's all about well-being. Like, it's just about changing the messaging for people, which they might not have even thought about yet. LinkedIn is... I'm really trying.
Yeah. How are you finding it?
I actually really like it for building connections.
Yeah.
We have loads of coaches as well that listen to this, and I help loads of coaches, and I think that's where they should be sitting. For like them bigger one-to-one clients, these introductions to people, that's where they need to be. But I was at, I can't remember what networking meeting it was the other day, and I think it was something like 85% of people in the UAE are on LinkedIn.
In the UAE, they love LinkedIn, and they use LinkedIn as a benchmark. Should I continue speaking to this person or not? And because also LinkedIn has a way, the algorithms show you who you're connected, but if they search you, it also has a part on it where it shows other people who are similar to you or in your category. And so that also shows, if they see Katie and they see, you know, all these other massive, big influencers, they think, okay, she's around the right circles.
Yeah.
You know, so it LinkedIn is the place to be out here if you really want to extend your reach, if you really want to show, or like I said before, that you're a safe pair of hands, because they want to see how long you've been on LinkedIn, you know, who's your types of connections. They want to see the type of content you're putting together, whether it's long form articles or just short little blogs, those kind of things. And you can just start with, you know, sharing a few tips. And this is what salon owners do already. This is what coaches and consultants do already. You just need to now put it on that platform.
Yeah.
And then you start elevating the content as you go along. But yeah.
Yeah,
it's
a big
untapped field.
Because it was even like the other day I wrote for a magazine, and there was a news one that I'd done the other day, and both of them just tagged me on LinkedIn. And I was just like, wow, you wouldn't get that on any other platform.
no.
I said, thank you very much.
Yeah. So that means now you're in front of their audiences as well.
Yeah.
And so now that's extending your reach. And, you know, if you have coaches and consultants who are part of your ecosystem, you could like tag them into a post to start a conversation. And then now their followers see it. So it's a compound. There's a lot of people who are misusing LinkedIn. And that's why I put together this toolkit where I walk through what types of content you should be putting out, what's the best days to put it out, best times, and also the call to actions.
Yeah.
You know, we call them CTAs.
Yeah.
Because what we're used to on Instagram is, DM me the word this, or DM me and I send you the link. But on LinkedIn, you wouldn't say DM me. And if you want to show your credibility with corporates, you want to be saying things like, if you are experiencing this within your team, I'm open for a chat. Send me a private message. Because what happens, especially with social media, they are very much about followers, how many followers you've got, you know, 20K, whatever. Corporates don't care about how much followers you are. That's the great thing.
Yeah.
They don't care about the algorithms. We care about the algorithms, but they care about the relevance.
Yeah.
So what you want to be doing is using social media to build authority and reputation. And they don't care about how many followers, how many likes, how many engagement, because they don't engage on the post either.
No.
But they'll get in your DMs. So now on LinkedIn, you can see who viewed. You can see what titles of the types of people that have viewed your LinkedIn. And then once you can see who's viewed, then you can DM them and they'll have the conversation privately.
Yeah, it is really about that inbox, isn't it?
Yes.
Because it's funny you say that, because I am an Insta girl through and through. And we make a lot of business on there.
Yes.
But Instagram, we can copy over to Facebook. It makes it very easy. It's the same content. But then when we was focusing more on LinkedIn, I was like, oh, this isn't going to work.
Yes.
And the call to action was the thing I was really struggling with, because I'm really big on call to action.
I'll give you the toolkit. And I've got like 20 and you can just use them in variations.
Oh my gosh, because I was like, how am I finishing this? It's like writing a story, the beginning, the middle, the end. I was like, how am I putting the end on this?
Yeah.
So I have been leaving a question or something like that, but it was, I can't use DM the word.
Yeah. We're so used to that, right?
What type of content is best for LinkedIn? Because obviously, is it reels? Is it static photos? Is it just writing? Like, what works?
Stories sell really well.
Do they?
But they don't call it a story. We call it story, but they'll call it a case study.
Right.
So once again, it's the language, it's the narrative, but you tell it as a story. So you can say, somebody came to me, this was their problem, this was my solution or my intervention, and this was the result.
Yeah.
That's the cadence of a story, but it's also the cadence of a case study. And that's what they want to see. They also like to see a day in the life of.
Really?
Yeah. They want to see, because remember, the people who got to hire you in, let's say it's the company's called Joe Blogs, right? The company is not going to hire you. It's the one person that's going to hire you. So all you're doing is trying to speak to one person in the organization who can bring your name into the room. So the fact that they get to see Katie behind the scenes, you know, on her way to work, working with different salon owners or coaches and consultants, and seeing what happens at the end of the day. Then you go back home to your family. They want to see, actually, she is human. And once they see that and they get to like that and they think, oh, actually, Katie's all right, actually. And also she does this. This could be really useful to our organisation. So it only requires one person to buy into you, and they need to understand what you do well enough that they can tell the story to someone else. That's the key point here.
Yeah.
That is what you do clear enough that somebody else can refer you or bring your name into the room when you're not in there.
I love that. I bet everyone is watching, updating their profile right now. And I'm already thinking, like, I know what I'm going to be doing tonight and doing my post, because you can schedule on there as well, don't you?
You can schedule,
Yeah, I think everyone also still thinks it's still that job platform. I'm not a recruiter, or I'm not looking for a job. And it's like, that's so done now,
so
isn't
much
it?
more. The ones that get the highest are the ones that tell the story, or they do videos, or there's a picture rather than just the text. Right? So that's what I've seen, the highest performing LinkedIn post, or the ones that you're teaching something.
Yeah.
And it could be teaching a tip. I did something on negotiation. As I said, guys, for 1 week only, I'm going to be showing you some good strategies around negotiating, so you get what you want and your partner gets what they want. So every day, just for 1 week, I did Monday to Thursday, I showed some tips, and and it wasn't live, so it was pre-recorded, but I put it out at the same time. And then on the Friday, I said, guys, let's put this into practice. I'm going up to Yorkshire. I'm buying my new Mercedes. I'm going to negotiate. Let's try and see if I can get this cheaper. And that's what I did. So I took them on the journey when I was on the train, and then when I was in the car dealership, and I showed them the different Mercedes, and the particular one I wanted was a I think it was a CLK, and a soft top. And I said to the guy, listen, and I put my tripod and I said, we're live. And obviously we weren't live on LinkedIn. We're live on my video, right? And I said, we're live, and I've got my followers watching, and I'm going to negotiate with you, and let's get a deal that's going to be suitable for you and fair to me. And I said, and I remember the car at the time was 25,000, and I said, listen, I can give you half in cash now if I can get this for 18 or 19, I think I said. And he started laughing. He goes, are you joking? I said, listen, don't embarrass me. Do not embarrass me in front of people. Anyway, we went back and forth. I got some money off the car, but where we negotiated even better is he said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill the tank. Now, it's like a 2 litre, so it's like £100+ to fill the tank. He's going to fill the tank. He extended my warranty, and he threw in some other bits as well. That's how we negotiated. So although I didn't get all the money off, there's ways that I negotiated. So what I did was bring in all that happened that I've been teaching all the week, and then I put it into practice on the Friday. The following week, I had 2 people say, saw your negotiating masterclass on mini series. Can you speak at our event? And this is how much we're paying.
Wow.
That's it. It's something you can do straight away. You can say, I'm going to do a mini series, which is Monday to Thursday, Monday to Friday on a particular subject. And then your call to action is, if you want me to dive in deeper with this, do a workshop at your organization, like a lunch and learn, then here I am.
Because I guess, like you said, it's not about the engagement on there, it's about people watching you. So even if you're like, oh, the person I'm wanting to connect with isn't maybe going to do this, they can see what you know, what you can learn. That's really good. What's the job title that people should be looking for?
Oh, I love this.
Because obviously you've said like, you know, your connections, they could be in any part of the organization, but on LinkedIn, what's that title?
So you want to go for office managers, operations managers, and so these are for companies that might have 500 staff and less, because if they're bigger, they'll probably have like a big dedicated team. So office managers, operations managers, because these are typically the people that will hire you in HR, or the well-being department. So it could be well-being leads.
Wow.
What else?
Sort of jobs I just wouldn't even think that people have.
No, and there is a way that you have to search. Now, I need to remember what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll give you the right one for your show notes, right? But I think it's called Boom Lean. It's called Boom Lean. Boomlean. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's a style of searching on LinkedIn to get the exact people. So which means you would say operations manager and put a plus sign, and then put an industry. So this show, and then you get the exact people you're looking for.
Wow, hot tip, guys.
And then and you put the speech marks around it as well. So I'll give you all of this, and so you can put it in your show notes. But there is a way, a structured way you search on LinkedIn to get the right people, and then you can filter it through.
Love that.
Yeah,
love that. Thanks for the tip. Lastly, there was something that I saw you talk about that I'd love to just touch on. You talk about visibility versus credibility. I talk a lot about visibility.
Yes.
So what does that exactly mean to you?
So you and me and the rest of the country, we're always talking about visibility, and it's like, show up, be here, do this. But visibility without credibility is just noise.
Very true.
And I think if you want to stand out, you have to be visible and credible, which means you're not just showing up sporadically. You're not just got this scattergun approach. You have to show up visibly but credibly in a structured way. So what I just showed you, the example with the negotiation, that was me showing up. That was me being visible. But I showed credibility at the same time. So now I was showing up, and I positioned myself as somebody who really knows the art of negotiation. So that gives the credibility bit.
Yeah.
The reason why I say this, I was in this speaker program, and this particular guy who was running it, he was saying, just show up. And he said, I'm going to give you an item. Go online and talk about a banana. Go online and talk about a deodorant. And I thought, what kind of foolery is this? This is just being visible for visible sake.
Yeah.
There's nothing, and we're all here. We all have a personal brand.
Yeah.
So it's got to be an alignment with your brand. And then, so I had an accountability partner, and she said to me, oh, Michelle, you haven't done the work. And I said, I'm not an idiot. I have to protect my reputation. And what visibility plus credibility gives you, it gives you a strong brand. It positions you credibly in the eyes of your users, your stakeholders, people that want to buy into you. So I think, yes, the narrative around showing up and being visible makes sense, but it's not the full picture. The full picture is being visible but being credible. That means showing up, sharing something of worth, of a value to people. Do it in a structured way that people now see you as, oh God, yeah, she's the person who talks about this, because she's been consistent with it. And that's the difference, I would say, between just showing up and being visible and being credible, and it impacts our reputation as well.
Doing what we teach, right? Like there's too many people that are teaching or saying things and they've never done it themselves. And I think even with the rise of AI and now everyone can spit out similar things, it's like, oh, is this come from the robot or is this actually legit? Like, so we need to see the legit side of it.
Exactly. And this is why we're going to stand out, because I think every industry is going to be impacted by AI. It's happening now. You know, I've just seen like loads of people losing their jobs because AI is taking over. So what can we do that either AI can't do or it just humanizes the approach is how you show up. It's showing the mistakes.
Yeah.
Because AI is so perfect, you know, quote unquote perfect, we are now missing the human centric of what we do. And that's us just showing up. So not having everything scripted and sounding like a robot or sounding like Hey Jen. It's actually coming up and saying, actually, I made a mistake yesterday.
Yeah.
Or fumbling your words a bit. That just makes you still human.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, when I do interviews or when I do talks, even when I've made mistakes, I keep it in because I'm thinking that's making me human. People will buy that part of me because they know it's not AI.
Definitely. I tell you what, right? This isn't what I was going to say. But I was listening to a podcast the other day and it was someone that's really blown up right now, right? So I was like, I need to listen to the podcast, see what it's all about. Like the clips online look really good and all of this. I listened to it and I was shocked. Now, it wasn't AI because it was definitely her talking, but it was so scripted. I was like, I might have just got an audio book. Like, it was so perfectly scripted with no personality. I had to turn it off.
Yeah.
I was like, where's the stumbling over the words? Where's the realism? Where's it? And I was just like, wow.
Where's the character? Where's the life? You know, and that's what I think is going to separate us from those who are just using AI as a churn, just to churn out marketing collateral, is actually, let me bring me into this.
Exactly. Because obviously it was her talking, but the script was definitely AI. Yeah. And even like the you know, the common phrases and that, I was like, oh!
Yeah, and it's just cringy sometimes, right? It's
please
just
cringy. Don't do this. But she's smashing it right now, so good for her. But, you know, I was just like, wow, we've got to be careful not to get too caught up in it. In that circle, but you're amazing. Amazing. Like, thank you. It's a very different episode for my listeners to be able to think, wow, there is a whole other world that we can tap into, which is really, really exciting.
I love that. Yeah.
Where can people reach out to you?
On Instagram. On Instagram and LinkedIn. So on Instagram, I'm Michelle _Raymond.
It's definitely
inspires.
Parts,
yeah. If you find Michelle Raymond, you're going to find me. And on LinkedIn, Michelle Raymond. And I would say to your listeners, definitely connect with me on LinkedIn, because when you start putting your content out, feel free to tag me in, because then I can help repost it. You know, I'm always here to champion. And I believe in real support, like tangible support. Not people say, oh, you know, call me when you need me, because when people are in need, they don't call.
Yeah.
So I want to give a practical, you know, hand of support, which is once you get on LinkedIn and tag me in your first post and I will repost it. I will put a comment under it so it can help with the algorithms, literally. And like I said, I'll make sure that the LinkedIn toolkit is available to your listeners and viewers as well.
Yes, we will definitely add all of that to the show notes. Thank you so much. Thanks for giving up your time and all the incredible tips.
Thank you so much.